Yo, what's up guys? It's Ben10clem here, back with another video. Back to the AP poll versus the Ben10clem poll. Sorry I'm a little behind on it, but but I'm here now. Anyways, so we're gonna go over the AP poll and then compare it to my poll for the week 3. So we're gonna go over AP poll to start. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Penn State. 3, LSU. 4, Oregon. And 5, Miami. Pretty much identical top 5, other than one spot that I have different. But it's just personal opinion. I think one team has a better overall roster. It's just the QB spot I think is a little iffy. Um, so the 1 through 4 is identical. I moved Oregon up 3 spots. I do think they're the number 4 team. But the number 5 team, I think, is Texas still. Even with their loss, I still think they're a really good team. They're 5 for me. Roster-wise, they have one of the best rosters in the nation, if not the best. If Arch Manning does even better, I think right now I'm not super high on him, especially after he looked in the Ohio State game, but he could slowly improve, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. We have at 6 Miami, so I pretty much Miami's looking really strong too. I think they're better at the QB spot with Carson Beck than Arch Manning is, which is wild to say because I didn't think Carson Beck is that great of a QB, but oh well, you have it. And at 7, which dropped 3 spots for me, is Georgia. Georgia just, I mean, they played Austin Perry, and it was at Georgia, keep in mind, 28-6. If I was Georgia, that game would be like 40 something to maybe 6, maybe 14, maybe, and that's a big maybe. They just don't have the firepower that I was expecting them to have. I mean, a lot of the games weren't a lot of firepower either, but that's probably the game I was the least impressed by score wise. That and the LSU one. But LSU played Louisiana Tech and it was 23-7. Not like an insane game, but I mean, I still think LSU's third in the nation. I really do. Now, we're going to go through 6 through 10 on the AP poll. So it's Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Florida State. Mine is Miami, Georgia, Tennessee, Notre Dame, South Carolina. I still say like I did last week comparing the two polls. I do not agree with Florida State being this high, let alone in the top 25. I have them probably right now. If I had to give like a firm spot of where they are, I'm gonna say 27. They're on the fringe of the top 25. Don't doubt them. They'll probably be in there next week. So yeah. Um Illinois, I don't think they're that badly ranked. People are complaining that Notre Dame is too high. I still think Notre Dame has a really good roster. Yes, they lost to Miami week 1. They haven't played a game yet. But I still think they could prove that they are not a top team like they were last year, but I still think they're a top team. Hence why they stay where they are. So I don't disagree with that. I think Tennessee is a top 10 team. Tennessee to me, they have them extremely too low in my liking. They just blew out FCS school, but their win against Syracuse was impressive. I really like how they played in general. Like they look really good. I think their defense is decent this year, and their offense is really good. I think better now than it was last year under Nico, which is wild. But yeah. And then we're gonna talk about South Carolina. I dropped South Carolina 2 spots after a 38-10 win against South Carolina State. Not like a crazy game. Sellers didn't have like a crazy game either. Just overall, really wasn't like a crazy. Like you would think it'd be more out, like a bigger score differential, but it really wasn't. So that's why I dropped them 2 spots, similar to like Georgia. That's why it was like that for me. But now we're going to go into the 11 through 15. They have South Carolina 11, Clemson 12, Oklahoma 13, Iowa State 14, Tennessee 15. I have Georgia Tech 11, Illinois 12, Oklahoma 13, Texas A&M 14, Clemson 15. You know what? I can agree with the 11 through 15 other than number 14. I don't think Iowa State should be that high. Nowhere should be that high. There's no way. I don't think they deserve to be that high. Iowa State beat Iowa by 3. I mean, close game is 16-13. It's Iowa though. They're not known to be really good. So it's like it's hard to decide, but I just don't think like I had just recently put them in the top 25. That's why I have them at 25. And there's some things I do not agree with, etc. in this list, but I'll go for more into detail. Tennessee, I can understand them being like at 15. I mean, anywhere in the top 15, I'm okay with them being there. As long as they're in the 15 through 6 range. Anywhere around there, I think that's where they deserve to be. Oklahoma, right on the money. I have them at 13. I bumped them up a ton, 8 spots after their win against Michigan. Georgia Tech, them not having Georgia Tech ranked to me still is just insane. Georgia Tech with Haynes King easily is one of the best teams in the nation right now, which is why I have them at 11. I really do think if I had, like, their next game is Clemson and we go to Georgia Tech, and I could see Georgia Tech beating Clemson. I really could. If Clemson's offense could not get a thing going at all, we're screwed. Simple as that. Haynes King, if he's healthy enough and just runs all over us, there's nothing we can do. There's actually nothing that we can do. But other than that, at top, I think we have pretty similar there. Now we're gonna talk through 16 through 20. Their 16 is Texas A&M, Ole Miss, USF, Alabama, and Utah. So kind of similar here. I have Ole Miss at 16, Alabama at 17, Michigan at 18. I didn't drop Michigan that low. I only dropped them 5 spots. They were at 13 for me. I dropped them 5 spots. It wasn't like it was a terrible win for them. It was like, or a terrible loss for them, I mean. Like, it was 24-13. Like, yeah, they lost by 11, but it's not like the end of the world to me. They were playing a really good Oklahoma team with a really good QB and John Mateer. And then I agree with you, USF being 18. I have them at 21 just because I didn't have them in the rankings before, but neither were they in the AP poll. Them not having Louisville ranked, I think, is a little bit of a crime. Yes, Louisville did not look great against James Madison, 28-14. But yeah, Utah, I'm glad they have them 20th. I moved them up 4 spots. They're 20th for me. Anyways, we're going to go down to 21 through 25. They have Texas Tech, Indiana, Michigan, Auburn, and Missouri. Texas Tech, I have them actually at like 26. I have them above FSU for me. And Indiana right below like Florida State a little bit. That's what I would have it at. So 28, 27, and then this is 26 for me right now. And then 29 is Missouri. But I can understand this bottom 4. I really can. It makes sense. I'm still a little high on Michigan. That's why I have them at 18. That might be a little too high. I have Auburn at 22. SMU 23, even though their loss happened, but they were originally ranked really high for me. They dropped a lot after that loss. Do I think they're still top 25 team? Yes, I do. Um, but yeah, because and I also still have Florida ranked, even though they lost to South Florida by 2. South Florida is easily probably the best Group of 5 team you're going to see this year. Their QB looks amazing. Their team looks amazing. They were able to go in the swamp and win by 2 against ranked Florida, and they don't have Florida ranked after that game. Which is crazy to me. I had Florida pretty high. They dropped 9 spots for me, but Florida like losing that game. It was a close game. I still think South Florida is a really good team. That's why they're in the top 25. But I think Florida is a good team too. I don't think they deserve to drop out of the top 25 by any means. I just don't think that was made sense. And then the second overtime win for Baylor at SMU dropped Baylor out of the top 25. Yes, I had them very, very, very high, but um, yeah. And then I have Iowa State at 25, which they have them at 14, which I think is entirely way too high. Some of the important games to keep track of though next week, aka this weekend, is let's look through. I think a game you got to really look out for here is the Clemson at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech could easily come out and win against Clemson. Right now, Clemson is favored by 2.5. I would favor Georgia Tech over Clemson at the moment, probably by like 3.5 to 6.5. That would be my line. Another game to look out for, I would say, would be Georgia at Tennessee. I could see Tennessee upsetting Georgia here. It looks, I mean, that's where game day is going to be. Georgia's favored by 3.5, which, to be honest, I would have them at a 3.5 or a 2.5 favorite. So I agree with that spread and that line. I mean, it's going to be a really good game. Let's see what other games that you might want to look out for. Oh, yes. South Florida at Miami. Miami is favored by 17.5. Entirely too high. I think this game is going to be more of a touchdown difference. 6.5 to a 10-point difference. I really think it's going to be a closer game than they are saying it's going to be. That's insane that it's a 7.5 favorite for Miami. I really think that should lower down because I think we're about to witness another upset here, and it will be South Florida beating Miami. Miami, I think, is a good team, but I think South Florida, after their win against the Swamp, they're going to be fired up. They're going to want to go into Hard Rock Stadium and beat Miami too. Beat all the Florida teams while they're at it. And that will assert them dominance into the top 15 with ease, if not top 10, depending on how things shape out. So maybe a little teaser. If they do win that, they're going in the top 10 to top 15 range for me, without a doubt. Like, that team deserves it. That would be 3 ranked wins in a row. Boise State, obviously, they're not ranked anymore, but they blew out Boise State, had a close game and won in the Swamp, and then now they had to play at Hard Rock Stadium against Miami, which is ranked very, very high. Another game that you might want to look out for is Arkansas at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 7.5 favorite. I do think that's accurate. I think Ole Miss could end up losing. I mean, you never know. Ole Miss does choke sometimes, so we'll see how that goes. Another couple games to look out for is Florida at LSU. Now, that game, I think, is going to have some serious SEC SEC playoff potential there. LSU is a 7.5 favorite. I agree with that. I think LSU will come out with the win, though. Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 6.5 favorite, a little below a touchdown, and I do think Notre Dame's going to take care of Texas A&M pretty convincingly, actually. I give them probably a 14-point lead or 14 to 13-point win. Yes, Notre Dame lost to Miami, but I don't think Texas A&M is going to stand a chance there. I mean, they'll put up a fight, but yeah. Another game to look out for is Vanderbilt at South Carolina. They have South Carolina a 4.5 favorite. Vandy is close to being ranked. I have them probably 30th right now. Vandy is looking good this year. I mean, but South Carolina just looks more dominant and more superior. I I don't see South Carolina losing this game, and I actually think they're gonna beat the line and beat the spread more than anything. I think it's actually gonna be a pretty dominant win for South Carolina. And that's probably all the games that I say are important next week for week 3. And that will be going into the week 4's poll. But let me know what y'all would change down below, and if y'all agree, which poll you guys agree with more. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this one, and I hope you guys enjoy. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Peace.